In the ancient hill country of Ephraim, a land steeped in history and faith where the echoes of prophets and patriarchs still lingered in the air, during the tumultuous era of the Judges, a time of both great heroism and deep moral decline in Israel, lived Hannah, a woman marked not by triumph or celebration, but by a profound and persistent sorrow that weighed heavily on her heart. Her husband, Elkanah, a man of integrity and devotion, was faithful to her, but their home, though built on love, was divided by a deep and agonizing pain that threatened to consume them both. Hannah was barren, unable to conceive, a source of immense grief in a society that valued children above almost all else. While Peninnah, Elkanah's other wife, was blessed with many children, a constant and painful reminder of what Hannah lacked. In a culture where children meant everything, prosperity, legacy, and social standing, Hannah's emptiness was not just a personal tragedy, it was a public and relentless shame, a mark of perceived divine disfavor. And this burden was sharpened by Peninnah's constant taunts, a cruel and calculated assault on Hannah's already wounded spirit. Every family gathering, every festive meal became a stark and painful reminder of her profound loss, a spotlight on her deepest insecurity. Her grief was not a private matter, it was on constant display for all to see, a visible manifestation of her perceived inadequacy. Elkanah, in his love and compassion, tried to comfort her, offering words of solace and understanding. He offered extra portions of food, a symbol of his affection, and spoke gentle words, attempting to soothe her aching heart. But despite his best efforts, nothing could truly fill the void, the emptiness that gnawed at her soul. Year after year, as the seasons turned and life continued, Hannah's hope slowly faded, dimmed by the relentless weight of her sorrow. Each year, the annual pilgrimage to Shiloh, the center of worship, became not a journey of spiritual renewal, but a painful journey into the depths of her own suffering and despair. Surrounded by the joyous celebration and the vibrant energy of the festival, she felt utterly alone, isolated in her grief, a solitary figure amidst a sea of happiness, her spirit crushed beneath the weight of her sorrow, her appetite gone, unable to partake in the festivities. Yet even in the deepest recesses of her pain, in the darkest corners of her despair, a stubborn ember of faith remained, refusing to be extinguished. That unwavering faith, that persistent hope, would soon drive her to a desperate, heartfelt, and ultimately world-changing prayer, a plea that would alter the course of her life and the destiny of a nation. One year, as the cycle of seasons turned in Shiloh, Hannah's deep-seated anguish, a constant companion, finally overflowed like a river breaching its banks. The years of longing, the silent tears, the societal pressures, all culminated in this moment of profound despair. After the communal meal, a shared experience that only amplified her feelings of isolation, she quietly slipped away from the festivities, seeking solace in the sacred space of the tabernacle, her heart breaking under the weight of unfulfilled dreams and unspoken desires. Her tears flowed silently, a private torrent of grief unseen by the world, yet profoundly felt within her soul. She knelt in prayer, a posture of humility and desperation, and cried out, "Lord Almighty, if you will only look with favor on your servant's misery, acknowledge my pain and grant me the blessing of a son, then I vow to give him back to you, to dedicate him to the Lord's service for all the days of his life. He will be yours." Her lips moved in fervent supplication, but no audible sound escaped her throat. A silent, desperate prayer that only God, in his infinite understanding, could truly hear and comprehend. Eli, the high priest, observing her from a distance, saw her strange behavior and, failing to grasp the depth of her sorrow, mistook her silent, passionate fervor for the slurred movements of drunkenness. He approached and rebuked her sharply, but Hannah, with unwavering dignity, replied, "No, my lord, I am not drunk. I am a woman deeply troubled, pouring out the very essence of my soul to the Lord in heartfelt prayer." Her raw honesty and vulnerability touched Eli deeply, moving him with a newfound understanding. He then offered her a blessing. "Go in peace, and may the God of Israel, in his infinite mercy, grant you the desires of your heart, fulfilling the very request you have laid before him." Empowered with that blessing, a seed of hope planted in fertile ground, hope flickered anew, burning brighter than ever before in Hannah's weary heart. She left the sacred space of the tabernacle a changed woman, her burden of sorrow significantly eased by the unwavering faith that her heartfelt plea had been heard by the Almighty. Sometimes the most profound and powerful prayers are not those spoken aloud with eloquent words, but rather the ones whispered in silence, spoken only in the language of tears. Hannah's desperate prayer, born in the heart of Shiloh, would soon resonate far beyond its borders, shaping not only her own destiny but the destiny of a nation. Eli's blessing transformed Hannah. She returned to her family, her face no longer downcast, her appetite restored. The journey home was filled with quiet hope. In time, God remembered Hannah. She conceived and gave birth to a son. She named him Samuel, saying, "Because I asked the Lord for him." The shame that haunted her vanished, replaced by joy and gratitude. Peninnah's taunts faded into silence. Hannah cherished every moment with her son, never forgetting the vow she had made. Samuel was a living testament to God's faithfulness and Hannah's unyielding faith. But Hannah knew, this child belonged to God. The time had come. Samuel was weaned, marking a significant milestone in their lives. Hannah, with unwavering resolve, prepared to fulfill the sacred promise she had made to the Lord. It was a vow born out of desperation and answered with divine grace. With a mix of emotions, she gathered her belongings and most importantly brought Samuel, her precious son, with her. Along with her beloved child, she also brought a generous offering, a token of her gratitude and devotion. These gifts were carefully selected, representing the best she could offer to the divine. Their destination was the tabernacle at Shiloh, the central place of worship for the Israelites. It was here that Hannah would fulfill her vow and entrust Samuel to the Lord's care. Standing before Eli the priest, she declared with heartfelt sincerity, "I am the woman who stood here years ago, praying to the Lord with a desperate plea in my heart. I poured out my soul, I prayed for this child with tears streaming down my face, and the Lord, in His infinite mercy, granted my request." With humility and gratitude overflowing in her heart, she dedicated Samuel to God's service for life, a testament to her unwavering faith and commitment. In that sacred moment, surrounded by the presence of the Lord, Hannah worshipped with all her being, her heart overflowing with praise and thanksgiving for the miracle she had received. She sang a song of deliverance, declaring, "My heart rejoices in the Lord, my horn is exalted in the Lord. There is no one holy like the Lord, there is no one besides you, there is no rock like our God." Her song celebrated God's power to lift the humble, to raise up those who are cast down, and transform sorrow into unspeakable joy, a testament to His unwavering faithfulness. Hannah's act was not one of loss or sacrifice in the traditional sense, but of triumphant surrender to the divine will, a recognition of God's sovereignty over her life. She gave her greatest gift, the son she had longed for, back to God, trusting Him completely with Samuel's future and knowing that he was in the best possible hands. Little did she know that her act of faith and dedication would not only shape Samuel's life, but also profoundly influence the destiny of a nation. Samuel grew up in the house of the Lord, guided by Eli. Even as a boy, he was marked by grace and favor, his life a living answer to prayer. Each year Hannah visited, bringing him a new robe, a mother's love woven into every stitch. God honored Hannah's faith, blessing her with more children and filling her home with laughter. Samuel's story was just beginning. One night, he heard God's voice calling him in the darkness. With Eli's guidance, Samuel answered, "Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening." That night, Samuel's prophetic ministry began. He would become one of Israel's greatest leaders, a guiding light for his people. Hannah's sacrifice bore fruit beyond her wildest dreams. Her faith changed the course of a nation. Hannah's story teaches us that God hears even our most silent, desperate prayers. Her faith was not in eloquent words, but in honest surrender. She entrusted her deepest pain to God, and found peace before her prayer was answered. What we dedicate to God can become a blessing for many. Hannah's single act of faith gave Israel a prophet and a legacy of hope. Her journey calls us to trust, surrender, and wait on the Lord. Even when hope seems lost, God is faithful. He hears our cries, honors our faith, and turns pain into purpose. If you enjoyed this story, please like and subscribe for more inspiring content.